everybody at home today. We're going to just do a review today on the factoring that we've been discussing the last 2 days. So factoring without a greatest common factor, and then factoring problems that have a greatest common factor. So today is kind of just a review of, or practicing through those problems. And then tomorrow, we'll kind of go a step further and actually solve the equation. So the goal of factoring is to give us a way to solve for x. So that's what we will talk about tomorrow. Looking ahead, next Tuesday, you will have a quiz. So next week is a shortened week, which Mr. King is really excited about having a break, which I think we all need a break. So next week we have school Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But again, Wednesday, everybody is at home next week. We will still have class. Spring break doesn't officially start till Thursday next week. But we have Thursday, Friday, and Monday off. So we do get a nice 5-day break for everybody to hopefully get a little refresher. And then 8 weeks after that. So after we come back from spring break, 8 weeks of school. So I think we could totally make 8 more weeks after spring break. So Mr. King is going to go over one problem from the homework, and if there's another that you'd like to see, please ask him. And then I'm going to start with you today's homework assignment. And then, as I said, it's just kind of practicing through problems today. So send it over to Mr. King.
You got it. So we're going to look at number 18 because it has some big numbers. So Michael, did you get the GCF for 18? It's a hard one to do. Were you able to get that?
Four.
Yeah, 4. Awesome. Yes, to me, that was a little bit of a tougher one because you're trying 12, 6, different things. So if you take 4 out, you're going to be left with 4 times 20x squared plus 17x plus 3. Josh, what is my AC going to be in this case?
Your AC, your A is going to be 20 and your C is going to be 3.
Good. So what's your AC value? 20 times 3 gives you?
Oh, it'd be 60.
Good. And that's a positive 60. So what are some factors of 60 besides 1 and 60? Two and
Anybody can shout him out. Help Mr. King out.
help me out, please. 1 and
2 and
60, 2 and good. 3 and
20.
Good. 4 and
15.
Good. 5 and
12.
Good. 6 and
10.
Okay. So since 60 is positive and the middle number is positive, we both know that both of these factors have to be positive. Also, do not forget about this little 4 right here. If you want to star it, you want to circle it, highlight it, whatever you want to do, because we're going to forget about it for now, but it'll be gone, but not forgotten. We're going to bring it back later. So now we're going to break this apart, where we're going to have our 20x squared. And I'm sorry, Anya, what are the factors that add to 17?
5 and 12.
Yeah, plus 5 and plus 12. So we get plus 5x plus 12x, and then your plus 3 on the end. Through here, you draw your dashed line, or just you want to separate them. And now we're going to find the GCF of each side. Jason, what's the GCF of 20x squared plus 5x?
5x.
Yeah, 5x. So I'm going to go ahead and take 5x out. And if I do so, that'll leave me with 4x plus 1. And then Jason, what's the GCF of 12x plus 3?
3.
Yeah, positive 3. So you'll end up with 4x plus 1. The parentheses match. So that's good. So we can rewrite 5x plus 3 in parentheses, and then we could group it with the 4x plus 1. And then Jason, what's that thing we have to remember to bring down?
The 4.
Yeah, we have to remember to bring that 4 down. So right there. So then that gives us our final solution. Questions on any of the homework problems? Down here, we'll do number 24. These do not have to have any of the GCF at the beginning. It's already factored with the GCF. So now we just use our AC method. 4 times negative 3 gives us negative 12. Factors of 12 are 1 and 12. 2 and 6, 3 and 4. It's negative. With that negative value, we want to find differences. So which of these have a difference of 11? Well, that's going to be 12 and 1. This number is positive, so the bigger number would also be positive. So I give us a negative 1 and a positive 12. And then we just factor it out. 4x squared minus 1x plus 12x minus 3. Anya, what's the GCF of 4x squared minus 1x?
Wouldn't it be 1x?
Yeah, 1x or x. So we'll bring that out. And then Anya, what's left when you take x away?
4x minus 1.
You got it. And then Anya, what's the GCF of 12x minus 3?
4.
Not 4, but
Oh, 3.
3.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know what you meant. And then you add, so then you get 4x
Yeah,
minus 1. And I knew that's where you're going. So you combine, and then you get your final answer. You just do your grouping. 1x or just x plus 3 times 4x minus 1. That's it. Any other questions on the homework? If not, we'll jump right into today's, which is this review. So I'll send it on over to Ms. Kate. You're muted.
So we're going to head to Google Classroom and grab today's review worksheet. And today is truly just a practice day, working on the AC grouping factoring method. So that worksheet is now posted. If you want to open that up, and I'll give you a minute to do that. This is what the worksheet looks like when you open it up. We're just going to go through the problems first and decide if it has a GCF or not. So that will be the first question you'll have to ask yourself when you're factoring. Do the problems or the numbers have a GCF? So that's like step 1. Do they have a GCF? We have to talk about that first. And then if you say no, then you factor. If you say yes, then we have to take that GCF out. All right, so hopefully you have this worksheet. Factor the following problems using AC grouping method of factoring, and that's what we've been working on. That's what the method is called. So the first step of the method, the actual true first step, is to ask yourself, is there a GCF? So Michael, if you look at number 1, we have 2, 13, and 21. Would 2, 13, and 21 have any number in common as a GCF, Michael?
Just one.
Yeah, just one. So if you say only the number 1, then really there is not a GCF. So if there's no GCF, then the first step is to take A times C, which would be 42. And then you're going to work through that problem. So I'm just going to go through right now and say yes, GCF, no, GCF. So Jason, looking at number 2, 2, 15, and 18, do they have anything in common as a GCF? So can I divide 2?
One.
Right, just 1. So again, we'll say no GCF. Anya, how about number 3, 5, 19, and 12? Do they have a GCF?
Wouldn't it be 1?
Yeah, just 1. So again, no GCF. And looking at number 4, we have 2. Really, there's a -1 sitting in front. And I think sometimes when there isn't a number in front of X, it helps to put a number 1 in front there. So it's a -1 in front of X. And if I have a 2, a 1, and a 21, they don't have a GCF either. So a lot of these are just no GCF. But you might want to have that -1 so that your mind is thinking, hey, I need to get a -1 for that. Continuing to look at 5 and 6, number 5 has 3, 7, and -6. No GCF there besides 1. 3 and 6 have something in common, but not 7. And then number 6, 5, 19, and -4, again, nothing in common besides the number 1. So those first 6 problems are just regular AC grouping, no GCF. Any questions on those 6 problems? Michael, how about 7 and 8? Do they have a GCF besides the number 1?
No.
No. Okay, so we said no for a lot of them. But Michael, if you look at number 9, 12, 2, and 4, is there a GCF in number 9?
It's 2.
Yeah, so this one does have a GCF, and we're going to divide all of these by 2. So first step, if there is a GCF, we need to take that GCF out. Michael, if you divide everything by 2, what do you have left?
You would have 6x squared. And it'd be minus 2x.
What's 2 divided by 2, Michael?
Oh, sorry, 1.
That's all right, no apologies. And then minus
2.
2, good. All right, let's work through this problem. So the next step, Josh, we take A times C. What is that number, Josh, when we take A times C?
It would be -12.
What are the factors of -12, Josh?
1 and 12, and 2 and 6, and 3 and 4.
Nice. So it's a -12. That means our signs have to be the opposite, and we're trying to make a -1. So my bigger number has to be negative because my value B is negative. So that means a +3 and a -4 make a -1. So that -4, the bigger number, needs to be negative. Remember, you're circling that 2, boxing the 2, starring the 2, that GCF. We're not going to write it down, but we're going to remember it for later. So keeping 6x squared, 3x minus 4x, and then a minus 2. So Anya, what is the GCF of the first pair here? 6x squared and 3x. What do they have in common?
Wouldn't it be 3?
Yeah, and the x. What do you get when you take out a 3x, Anya?
2x plus 1,
Nice. How about the next pair?
2,
Awesome. Positive or negative 2 there?
negative.
Nice job. And again, we have 2x plus 1. So when we go to factor our write our final answer in factored form, 3x minus 2, 2x plus 1, and then that last thing, we took a GCF out. Let's bring that GCF down. Don't forget about that GCF, writing it in front. That's why Mr. King and I say circle it, box it, star it, highlight it, whatever you want to do to remind yourself there's a GCF that we have to remember in the answer. Questions on 9? All right, so if you look at number 10, these numbers are a little tricky. 24, 42, and 9. Michael, 24, 42, and 9. Looks like they should have a GCF. Do you know what that GCF would be, Michael?
3.
Yeah, so here they're divisible by 3. So 9 and 10 are going to be done in the exact same method. So divide by 3, and then you'd factor it the same way. I threw on a challenge problem as just an extra problem here to give some of you an extra little thought here. We're going to give you bonus on this challenge problem if you get it correct. I will say there is a GCF, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. But it does have a GCF. And that first number is negative. So when you take out that GCF, make sure you're thinking about that negative as well. But there is a GCF in this challenge problem. So we'll give you 2 bonus points if you get it correct, 1 bonus point if you're almost correct. And that'll be on top of the 4 points that you get for homework. So you can get a 6 out of 4 on this homework assignment if you factor that challenge problem correctly. Yeah, pretty good, pretty exciting. 6 out of 4, that's doubling, giving you 2 extra 50% more points on there. So homework today, we have 20 minutes left in class. You have 9 problems, plus if you want to do that challenge problem, makes 10. Of the 10 problems, 2 of them, number 10 and the challenge problem, have a GCF. None of the other ones do. So all the other problems, you're just taking A times C and then listing the factors of A times C. So working through those factors. If you want to stay on, we are here to work through any problems that you would like to go over. If you would